Today by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi of new industrial facilities at the Chemical Industries Complex in Abu Rawash Industrial Zone, and the inaugurations included two plants for the production of medical and industrial gases, as well as a facility for generating power from tertiary energy sources. Also, Egypt is making huge efforts in embarking on a new digital era with its digital transformation program. In order to know more about Egypt's efforts in all these regards, we're very much delighted to have with us here in the studio Dr. Batran, economic foresight expert. Thank you very much, Dr. May, for being with us today.
It's a pleasure.
Now, how do you see the importance of all these mega projects inaugurated in Egypt and its effect directly on the Egyptian citizens? And let's talk particularly on also the medical sector as well.
The inaugurations that are happening have an impact on both Egypt internally, Egypt's requirements and needs, strategic needs internally for, like you just mentioned, gases in the medical sector. And also, they're very important to help complement Egypt's strategic plans and Egypt's strategic direction towards our African neighbors and Arab neighbors as well. So these, they boost production, they create job opportunity, they fill up an internal need and an external strategic advantage to build on the already present growth of starting of the growth up of the production of strategic commodities and the strategic requirements and strategic plans of integration with our joint integration in production and in infrastructure programs with our African neighbors.
Yes, definitely. And if we talk, Dr. May, about all these projects and initiatives that directly affect the Egyptian citizen, also special attention was given to villages and small income or limited income brackets. Therefore, the Decent Life Initiative was launched. So how does the civil society support the Decent Life Initiative? What's the role of the private sector in this regard together with the government?
I want to, it's a very interesting question. Although it's being repeated on more than one level, but I want to give an answer from a different perspective. Part of it is the empowerment of the general population of Egypt to really know what is happening in Egypt.
Yes.
When we talk about Hayat Karima or Decent Life Initiative, we are talking about if going to the Maslow law of needs and requirements, the first requirements and the most important need of any human being anywhere in the world is food and shelter.
Yes.
So once we're talking about food and shelter, we're talking about strategic inaugurations today for food and drugs and health. We're talking about shelter. Shelter is a major success and component of what we have worked with our states the last 6 and 7 years is the eradication of unsafe housing in Egypt. I want to further explain about this. The unsafe housing were 90% eradicated until I'm speaking with you now. There were around 359 unsafe areas all around the governorates of Egypt. Some governorates have already eradicated these unsafe housing. In Cairo, there were more than 55. You will not believe that in Giza, 31, and in Kenya, 33 unsafe areas.
Yes.
These have been 90% eradicated. Around 1,200,000 citizens have been moved from the unsafe area to the safe areas. Totally free housing that is given by the state to the people of Egypt who used to live in unsafe areas. And these places, they are, as I say, they are paid for by the people of Egypt to their co-citizens of Egypt.
Yes.
And then there are 3 other levels. The level of the social standard of housing, which is socially paid for co-paid for by the government on an easy mortgages up to 20 and 30 years for young people looking to get married, middle class, and then متميز, which is upper class or distinguished housing facilities.
Yes.
So this comprises the حياة كريمة
and the installments for the citizens up to 20 years. I think it's
yes, for the social component.
Yes.
But I started off by talking about the
eradication
of the slums and the unsafe areas, which this on a country level and on an African, Arab, and global level, the number of people moved to safe areas is unheard of, because we nearly 1.25 million people moved in 7 years' time. And this is giving the dignity of the human person, giving the dignity of having a shelter.
Yes.
Now we're in
this
winter.
Of course gives, it has several dimensions, Dr. May, also on the social level, educational level, so many levels that I would like to dedicate a whole episode to talk about.
Yeah, you're very correct. First of all, it is an internal peace. It is, people are sheltered, and shelter, it means I am warm, I am well fed, I'm not exposed to the rain, I'm not exposed to the cold, the heat, the extreme conditions.
Yes. Okay,
so there is a certain level of internal stability.
Let me just move, because we're running out of time. We have less than 1 minute, but I want you to tell me more about also Egypt's efforts in digitalization. And how can digitalization and artificial intelligence improve our lives?
Egypt has done also big steps there. Now you can actually, if you have a young gentleman, a young man in the family, you can extract all permits for military exemption and military documents throughout the internet. If you are an elderly person, you can receive your kafala and karama stipend while staying at home, because of the digital transformation ability. If again you're a senior person and you need your ID renewed, any form of official documents, all of this can be produced again. Also our special needs citizens, again, the digital transformation has helped greatly make their lives easier, make services, government services easier. We're talking about services in infrastructure services, ID services, police, murur, traffic services.
Actually, I wanted to talk to you a lot about all these initiatives and all these projects, but unfortunately we're running out of time. We hope that we can meet you again here in the studio and further elaborate on all these important issues, because as you mentioned, it touches on the very
essence of our lives.
Yes, so it needs more time, but for now I'd like to thank you very much, Dr. May Batran, economic foresight expert. Thank you very much for being with us today.
It's a pleasure and an honor. Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. The Hour's Top Story is coming up next.